When someone dies, the money in the property which makes up their estate will be distributed to their heirs. And usually, for those assets to be properly distributed, the estate must go through a probate process. And so this involves several steps, including proving the existence of a valid will, if there is one, identifying and inventorying the property, appraising the property, paying debts and taxes, and then distributing the remaining property. But before the proceedings can get underway, the court needs to appoint someone to oversee the process. If there is a will, it typically appoints a personal representative to take on this duty. If not, the court will appoint someone to serve in that role. Welcome back to my channel, you all. I'm Kizzy. I'm a certified probate realtor, and this simply means that my team and I specialize in selling inherited homes through the probate process or homes that are in a trust. And so today I am explaining to you the 7 basic steps required in the Texas probate process. Step number 1 is filing the petition. The first step in starting a probate is filing a petition with the Texas probate court. And you're going to do this in the county where your loved one resided at the time of their death. And then this petition will trigger the court to schedule a court hearing. And then you will move on to step number 2, which is handling the notice or handling of the notice. And so after the petition is filed with the court, then the notice of hearing will be published in a local newspaper in the county that the letters were issued. And so it is also required to mail the notice to everyone named in the will, if there was one, along with all of the legal heirs of the deceased. And the notice of proposed action must also be provided to the potential creditors. And then step number 3 is going to be proving the will. If there is a will, it is necessary to prove the will unless it qualifies as a self-proving will. And so in some cases, the will contains specific language which makes it unnecessary to prove the validity of the will. Step number 4 is asset collection. One of the primary duties of a personal representative, whether you are an executor or administrator, is to take the possession of all of the probate assets. And so essentially, there are some items of the estate planning assets, or there are some items of the estate that are not required to go through probate. And we'll talk about that later on in another video. But if the title of an asset needs to be transferred to someone else, then the personal representative must take care of that, right? And so the types of assets that may require a title change are going to be like your stocks and bonds, your mutual funds account, your brokerage accounts, bank and credit unions, real property or real estate, automobiles, boats, planes, anything that has a title on it will need to be transferred. And so you want to keep in mind that the court does, however, require an inventory of all of the property or all of the assets, whether they are, should be, in the probate, a part of the probate process or not. So if they have titles on them or not, the court will require an inventory of these items. And then sometimes an appraisal of certain items may be required as well. Then moving on to step number 5, payments to creditors. Once the personal representative has provided notice of death to creditors, those with debts due must submit a claim to the court. And so if those claims are determined to be valid by a judge, then they will be paid from the estate. All valid debts must be paid before any other distributions can be made. So before any payouts to the heirs or beneficiaries are made, all of the valid debts would have to be paid first. In Texas, creditors generally have 6 months from the executor's appointment or 4 months after the receipt of notice from the personal representative to file their claim against the estate. The personal representative is also responsible for making sure that all estate taxes are paid. And so those include federal and state taxes, which the state of Texas imposes. And if the estate has been distributed before the taxes are paid and there isn't sufficient property left to pay those taxes, the personal liability may be imposed on the personal representative. Then step number 7 is the conclusion of the estate. This is the final step in the closing of an estate, and it involves providing an accounting of all actions that has been taken by the personal representative. The petition also includes all fees to be paid to the personal representative and to the estate attorney, if applicable. If there are no objections and the court approves the accounting, then an order will be entered by the court concluding the estate. And so once this happens, the personal representative can then distribute the remaining assets to those receiving the estate and pay any necessary fees. If you have questions regarding probate, please contact me using the contact information listed in the description below. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel. And please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and catch all of our future videos. I will see you in the next video.